Picking your dream teammate isn't a movement that is exclusive to just players. In fact, two Mountain West coaches recently took it to another level. For more on that story, we bring on our own Tamara Brown. And Tamara, this particular matchup was made on the basketball floor and fueled by a rivalry.
Jesse, I don't know if you remember this, but in the early 2000s, Love and Basketball was released. Here we are 19 years later, and the Mountain West has their own Love and Basketball story with a twist. I sat down with the recent newlyweds, Fresno State men's basketball head coach Justin Hudson and San Diego State women's basketball head coach Stacie Terry.
So you said you really didn't connect when you first got to San Diego State. When would you say you did connect then?
You know, we were friendly. I'd see him at the San Diego State functions and we'd say hi, but we really didn't connect until we had a booster event in late April, probably like 2 years into me being hired, and just kind of connecting. That was the first time that we really actually sat and talked, but that was the first time that we really spent some time together. And then I had left after that. We hung out that night and I had left to go on vacation, and it took a while for us to actually connect again, and finally after he called a couple times, you know, we connected at another function in San Diego.
Take me through the night that, you know, things really got serious and you proposed to Coach Stacie.
Go ahead, I'll let you take that one.
Well, she says I didn't really propose romantically like that. She says in the news conference in Fresno, I just introduced her as my fiance, but that's not really true.
That is exactly how it happened.
You know, I'd asked her before if we're gonna leave or we're gonna get married, and we want to get married, but it wasn't a romantic type setting. So
this is how it happened. So he obviously gets announced as the head coach at Fresno State. He says, I really want you there. Come up with me. So they flew us up, and of course I'm going to support him. And he goes through his spiel that night. He was fantastic. And then a reporter asked, hey, can you introduce your family? And so he goes through his family, his mom, his stepmom. He had some aunts, and both of his beautiful daughters were there. And then he gets to me and he goes, and my fiance. And his father and his stepmother kind of gasped and was like, his fiance? No one knew. I didn't know.
My fiance, Stacie. My daughter, Janae. My daughter, Kate.
You put them on the spot there. I don't think they were ready for that.
And then after that, after all that happened that night, he goes, well, I have an appointment with the jeweler tomorrow. You might as well go with me now that you know. So it wasn't all that romantic, but I got a really pretty rock out of it.
There was a nice jeweler in San Diego that he's really good, and I set that meeting up long before we went to Fresno. I just hadn't let her know. I was going to try to surprise her.
Flash forward now that, you know, now you guys are at two different schools. How do you guys make it work?
I'm a big planner, so I will plan out 7-8 months. So any free time that I have, I'm booking tickets to Fresno. And then when he can get back to San Diego, or when we can get together for any reason, recruiting or stuff like this, we take advantage of it so we can see each other.
Now, do you guys ever call each other to get advice? You know, whether it be after a practice, after a game, studying film?
I always call her and ask her questions, whether it's basketball, whether it's just life, whether it's being a head coach, whether it's a donor meeting. You know, it's not just about stuff on the floor. So I might ask her a basketball question or offensive question or defensive question, but I might also ask her a question about how to handle a situation.
One of the things that I miss the most with him not being at San Diego State is watching him teach, because he's such a good teacher. I've had a couple times where I've been able to sneak up to Fresno and watch some practices, and he's just such a good teacher. So I know that he has a lot of new guys, but they'll be ready.
I'm glad she hasn't made too many this year, because it's been a little tough.
Jesse, if there's one thing I learned about these two after sitting down with them, is that if they're not talking hoops and they're not spending time with their children, you can probably catch these two at a live concert.
Such a fun couple and great basketball coaches. Thank you, Tamara.